Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today, so my Z Guitars Custom LP Junior. The Junior. Before you do, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, which you do, the information is in the description for Cash App and Zelle. Let's do this. So, my Z Guitars Junior. So yesterday I showed off my Flying V. So this is the first one I had made. This is my Junior. So let's get into this. Yeah, this thing rocks. Awesome. So this is the first one I had made. Z Guitars. Let's see the back here. Can you see the back? Back's always hard to. Anywho, it's got the little volute. It's got a volute on it. This one has a rosewood, old rosewood fingerboard. Basically the same thing as my Flying V, but it's got the stop bar. I think this is a badass bridge. One humbucker, one volume, kill switch. In this one, I have a DiMarzio 36th anniversary PAF. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's got like this flame top. It's like, is it one piece or is it two pieces? No, it's one piece. It's not a veneer. It's literally like a real flame maple. Then on the back, it's like my other ones. It's old growth wood. So I have, this one is again, mahogany, then maple, walnut, or no, mahogany, carina, walnut, mahogany. You know what? I'd have to look at. I forget. But it's the same as the V. It's multiple pieces of wood, old growth. I wanted old growth wood. 50s neck, big fat neck. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if you can. My favorite guitar of all time. I mean, this thing is just, I mean, it's what I like, you know. I mean, other people need this, that, and that. But yeah, it just rocks. The DiMarzio 3600 PAF. Of course, the kill switch. Badass. It's just a smoking rock. It's a rocker. So yeah, when I found, because I've had like custom made guitars that weren't made for me, like, you know, buying and selling and trading, you run across, oh, I had this custom made, whatever. And then I have a Johnny Thunders. I think I did a video on that one. I have a Johnny Thunders like replica. It's not a Gibson. It says it is. And it's awesome, but not as awesome as this guitar. So I wanted something that like stuff, my specs, stuff that I liked. So I found Z Guitars out in San Gabriel Valley. Quite honestly, sometimes custom guitars are just because it's custom, they're not that good. They look okay, but some of like the worst duds I've ever played were these custom guitars. So I'd seen Zeke around online or whatever, or Z Guitars, and I was like, well, you know, I could. So I started communicating with him what I want. He's a junior guy too. He's made more juniors. This is not the only junior he's made. So I was like, yeah, you know, throw me one together. I told him what I wanted. I told him I wanted the mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, maple cap, um, old growth wood. I didn't care how many pieces it was. I said, dude, you've just figured it out. Because he said, look, the old growth is disappearing, and I don't have that many like big pieces, so you have to, I'd have to put them down. Fine, just do your magic. Um, and shocked when I went to pick it up. I mean, it was just like, what in the hell? And this is my main guitar of all time. I mean, this thing is again, I like the double cutaway. Uh, I like to keep it simple. Just one pickup. I don't need any. I never use a neck pickup. Um, I don't need a tone knob. I just need volume and a kill switch because I'm just a rocker. I'm not trying to. My music is just 3-chord rock and roll. It's not going to change your life or anything. And but there was a couple changes. Well, no, I think it's just one change. So when I got it, it had a Gibson 498T, I think it is. It's like a hot PAF they have, 498T. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But somehow it was microphonic. Like it would feedback, it would squall. And I actually did some research, and they did a run of, like it was for like 1 year, they did a run of these pickups that they didn't pot. They called it the, original, what I mean? Like they used to not pot the old pickups. Potting meaning like dip it in like wax, paraffin wax or whatever. So I was having problems with that. And I told, Zeke at Zeke Guitars, I was like, hey man, like this thing is squalling in a bad way, And he's like, yeah, bring it out. We'll look at it. And sure enough, he's like, man, this thing, it potted. It's, so he has other pickups there. And I was like, I'd rather, get any DiMarzios. He's like, yeah, I got this PAF. But here's the secret. One of my little secrets. I like that original, like PAF, patent applied for, meaning when they first made the humbucker, Seth Lover was the inventor of the humbucker for Gibson. They're stamped with PAF, patent applied for. They were released before the patent was finished. So those are the ones that people want. They sound amazing. And they're all, like, sometimes they're 6K, 7K, up to 9K, supposedly they found, like, and that's the output. So I did researching over the years, and it's like trying to, chase that guitar tone you want. And I like a PAF. I don't want it to color my amp or sound. I want it to be powerful enough, but then again, let the guitar do the, I don't like high output pickups. It's just, I'd rather let the guitar and the amp. If I want, I'll just crank the amp, So I was, going down rabbit holes and reading online, like posts and shit like that, got message boards or whatever. And someone said, pardon me. Damn, I have a stomach problem. I'm sorry. So someone said, the best way to get the original PAF sound from the 50s is to get a Seymour Duncan 59, but it's wound for the neck, and put it in the bridge. And I was like, and I was reading about it. People were like, oh, it nails it, So I was gonna do that. Then I came across it was a Yamaha Pacifica, like a Strat copy. Awesome guitars. If they do those Yamaha Pacificas, I mean, I like Strats, but that thing was awesome. And somehow I got it in a trade. I forgot exactly how but that's what he'd done. He was like, I was kind of blown away. He's like, yeah, I heard about it 59. So he did that. He bought a 59, the neck, and put it in the bridge of this Pacifica. Smoking. I was like, this is it. Because I was planning on doing it anyways. And I didn't even tell him anything about it. He just happened to, when I got it, it's like, oh yeah, you might like that. It's got this weird, I put a 59 neck in it. I was like, damn. So long story short, this has the DiMarzio PAF 36th anniversary neck. It's a neck pickup in the bridge. That's the key, man. That's the key to the sound that I want. And Rusty licks here. I'm rusty. So yeah, that's my little trick. My little secret is to and this is the only guitar I have it in. My V has a DiMarzio Fred, like the Joe Satriani, which I love that pickup too. It's kind of almost the same, but the Joe Satriani is more like I don't know how to explain it. I love it, but it's and I'd recommend the DiMarzio PAFs, whether you get the bridge or the neck, whatever, do what you got to do, and the DiMarzio Fred. That thing's a smoking. It's so good. So there's a little difference. The Fred is a little bit more controlled, I would say. It's more, I don't even know how to, maybe compressed, or I don't even know how to explain it, but I like that. And this is my baby. I mean, when I got this, I was like, my God, I've had so many guitars. I've had custom shop Gibsons. I've had partial endorsements, meaning I'll get an endorsement from a guitar company, and it's a partial endorsement, meaning they don't give me any free guitars. I get like a discount on guitars, which is kind of like a marketing ploy. They, I get it, but I've had one. We had a Gibson partial in Love Engineer days. That's how I got my first Les Paul, real Les Paul. And then the second one I got was Zematis or Zemitis. They're like metal fronted, kind of cool. And I've told this before, but when I got the partial endorsement with a discount, I still couldn't afford those guitars. They're expensive, man. I mean, they're nice. They're made in Japan. They got the carving on them. You can look them up, Zemitis. Ron Wood is famous for having a Zematis. So I got it for a year. This endorsement, this partial endorsement was for a year. And I already had good guitar. I was like, man, I'm not spending like $2-3 grand, maybe more, discounted to get a, And then the next one I had a Kanakian. It's like a Russian company. And I did get one of their, it was like a Telecat. It was actually pretty cool. I had that for a while. I ended up selling it. But this guitar, because you never know, someone's making you something you don't know. And I'd seen Z guitars, I've seen their stuff online. That is, it's just one dude, Zeke. He's just building it himself. Starts with wood. If you go to my Facebook, Charlie Greer Facebook, you can find it. There's picture, there's process. You can see the process how he made this. And I think this. I don't know if he's ever done a maple cap with because this is a real maple cap. It's like a, 3/4. I don't even know. It's a real cap, flame, old maple. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's got like weird. It's got the grain plus the flame. It's just badass. And it fits like a glove. Like this neck is a little bit smaller than my Flying V. My Flying V has got a bigger, like 58. This is more like a 59. See, the 58s were a little bigger than the 59s. So this is more like a 59. It's got the volute, which is kind of like a 70s Gibson thing, but it keeps this, the thing fall. Gibsons are known like 3 on the tree, meaning 3 tuners on each side. They fall. Gibson. I've had so many Les Paul, the cracked necks. You have to replace. Sometimes they sound better after you crack the neck. But it breaks your heart. Like, oh my God. When you first do it, it's shocking. You think, oh, I've ruined it. And I've literally had an SG. I busted the headstock off. It was off the guitar, just hanging with the strings. That was back in the night, like Love Engineer days. But and this needs a guitar change. A string change. These strings have been on for a while. And I got this about 2 years ago. This was my first entry into like Z guitars. And that's what I play now. It's been about 2 years since you find something you like, and stick with it. So this and my V are like my two main guitars. This guitar, this is the one I play. It just feels so, I can't explain it. When you get a guitar and you're just like, it's like your third arm. Pardon me, something. It's like you were born to, And I like the strap peg on the back there instead of on one of the horns. Um, I don't like the on the horn. It sits. I mean, it hangs differently, and to me, I can tell a difference like sonically. I know it sounds crazy, but uh, I can. And I'm into little kind of, I've got like my incrust, I'm weird like that. But yeah, this has got, really good hardware. It's just, there's not many that much routing. I mean, I do have the cavity in the back and I could add other stuff. I guess he said, hey, you could add a tone knob, whatever you want, but I didn't need any of that. Again, this kill switch right here, this is not for guitar. I think it's like a military grade thing. I don't even think it's of course, the badass bridge, wraparound tailpiece. Um, it's what I like. I mean, people like, and I can do a lot with just one volume knob. So if I just barely turn it up, I get like a clean. It'll clean up. A little grit on it. If I crank it, yeah, harmonics just fly off this thing. I mean, again, the DiMarzio. I've become like a DiMarzio pickup guy. Yeah, it's what I like. You guys can see this. And again, it's the one-piece mahogany neck made out of a plank of mahogany. It's got the 59. One-piece maple cap. Most juniors don't have that maple cap, but it's not an arch top. It's just it does its thing. And the back, it's got the old growth again, mahogany, Carina. I think there's walnut. I'm not maple. It's just a gem. I mean, it's a, and I'm sure if you're interested in Z guitars, you can go out and he doesn't. You see, he's one of these like luthiers. He's not out there, you know, and it's he. I like that about him. I like that he's kind of just doing his own thing. He's not trying to, you know, he's just doing what he wants. So yeah, I think he has a Facebook. I don't think he has a website or anything. And be patient if you do want to have him custom make one for you. I don't know if he ships them out or not. I think you have to be like in the LA area. Maybe he will. Who knows? But I'm gonna have him make another junior. I've got two of his juniors. One of them he made for himself. It's got like it's a neck through. It's got a big fat baseball bat neck. I mean, too big. I mean, but it's again, it's awesome. It's got a Floyd Rose on it with the titanium parts, and it's got these like Dimebag Darrell pickups that have got like big magnets, high output. And when I got it, I thought, man, that's the first thing I'm going to change is these pickups. But you know what? They work for it. It's controlled chaos. You can get a lot of cool feedback. Then I have another V that was his personal. He made that. It is funny. I don't know if he wants me to tell, but he was like, hey, he showed it to me when I picked up this junior. And it's just like the Cadillac it's got a Gumby headstock on it. And I think he said like, I'll never sell it. And then after like 6 months or something, he's like, hey, do you want to buy it? And I was like, well, I mean, perhaps. And I did. So I've got other guitars. It's just these are the ones that I've had so many guitars. I've had custom shop Les Pauls. I've had basically every kind of custom shop you could think of, and they're good. I thought they were the best, and then these are something about one person, one dude, starting with like planks of wood, um, hand carved, and he does the painting, he does everything, he cuts it, he's a wizard. I mean, uh, that's tough. And that's how they used to do it, so all his guitars are different. You're not going to get us, I like that too. I like that my V is a little different than, um, and I didn't have to really, it wasn't like a bunch of back and forth. I told him what I wanted, and that's it. And he's had problems with people who are like nitpicking and, oh no, this, that, no. And he told me I was his favorite client because I just left him alone. I didn't, I trusted him. I'd give him like a few like, okay, 59, and he'd give me the radius of the neck, like a 50. I want a bigger, neck. So this one was like 59. The V is a 58. Told him the pickups I wanted. And sometimes, I mean, I literally would say, surprise me. I know that I don't, again, it could be a Gibson, it could be a Seymour Duncan, it could be a DiMarzio. I'm leaning more toward like DiMarzios nowadays because I've got DiMarzios in my custom guitars. Then I've got Seymour Duncans in my other junior, and then my other Flying V has actually a custom Seymour Duncan custom shop, like hand wound. It's like a JB and the neck I think is a Jazz, maybe a Jazz model, or I know it's a JB custom, and then it's either a JB and a 59 or a JB and a Jazz. I forgot. And they're hand wound. They're expensive. They're the custom shop pickups, and I think they're hand wound by MJ. MJ's like an old school. She winds pickups for every rock star you can imagine. And I have Gibson pickups. I have what do they call it? I think it's a P100. My P90, my dog ear that's in my Johnny Thunders guitar, is actually a stack. So it's because P90s are kind of single coil, and they have that 60 cycle hum. They'll drive you crazy. So they stack it. It's literally like, it's kind of a cheating, it's like so it's stacked, but it doesn't have the output of a regular P90. So I have Gibson, Seymour Duncan, and DiMarzio pickups, but I love DiMarzios. I think that my favorite pickup as of now is the DiMarzio 36th anniversary PAF. I love the PAF, the patent applied for. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Those first low wound humbuckers from the 50s. They're like medium output, I'd say. I would say they're low, and then the trick that I learned about putting the neck pickup in the bridge, that's the key. It is just awesome. It just rings out. I mean, again, it's what I like. People have their own tastes. So here it is. You can see this, but I love how it's got the grain and the flame. It's hard to see the flame sometimes, but it's got the flame. One piece, old wood. The back and the neck. I don't know if you can see the. Let's see if you can see. So it's got the stamp Z USA. It's got the. This isn't a prototype. This is just a. Just my specs. I'm a junior guy. I love Les Paul Juniors. I don't like a lot of inlays and stuff like that. Like, I like Les Paul standards, but they got like big block pearloid. Any routing you're taking out of the wood and add something, no, that ain't right. So I just use like the dots, like the dot necks. I don't want it to be too flashy. I like, these are tobacco. My two that I've had made for work are tobacco sunburst, or like brown, whatever you want to call this. Just traditional looking. This has got a little weight on it too. Um, Again, it's for me, it's perfect. Um, I love the kill switch. I mean, I'll drive people crazy with that. You know, that's just, you know, in my tastes. Um, and this one actually has the logo, the Z Guitar logo, which and it's got the lacquer finish. My flying V, and I told this yesterday, my flying V doesn't, because I had to get out of LA and it wasn't necessarily done. I mean, it just, you know, some of the cosmetics. So I was like, I'll just take it. And I like that. I like the feel of the wood. It's got a little light lacquer, but it isn't like shiny like this one. And of course, the volute. Volute is the little knot on the back there, the headstock, to keep the stability. And they did that on violins and stuff. And some people don't like the volute. I do. You can really dig in, put a place for your thumb to dig in on a chord, those higher chords up here. And yeah, if you comment below, what kind of guitar are you playing? What are you into? If you do want to, just search Z Guitars. Go on Facebook, search Z Guitars. I don't even know if he's still making them. He doesn't. He's not like. It's not like a business. You know, he just makes guitars. You know, it's like, I don't know if it's a hobby, whatever. He's just and it took me years to try to find the right luthier, if you will, to make what I wanted, you know. And then he's into juniors. I like his style. I like his what he likes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to relate to people. You don't want to deal with people that you know, connect with, and also that likes the same kind of stuff. If somebody is in the strats, you ask them to build a junior, they might not, you know. If someone's like building juniors and you're like, hey, there's a guy, he's doing double cut juniors like I like. So I was like, I'm going to do it. So I did this like 2 years ago, and it takes a while. You know, it takes months. It isn't like you can like call him up and the next week he's gonna, you know. Granted, it don't take that long, but I don't know. Maybe he's got a waiting list now. Who knows? But as soon as someone that's known gets a hold of one of these, well, it's going to be, he's going to be either hired for a company, or somebody, you know, a rock star gets a hold of one of these. And I'm sure maybe they do, because he sold a few guitars, you know. But again, it starts with planks of wood. He sends you pictures, the process. He'll send you a stack. Like when I asked him to build this, the first picture I got was this stacks of wood. Like, this is what I'm, you know, awesome, you know. And he showed the progress of the build. I love that. And again, I wanted old growth wood, so I had to go with the, you know, multiple, because this is real old school wood. Mahogany, Carina, walnut, whatever it is. I think there's like, it's mahogany, maple, walnut, and then Carina center, something like that. I have it written down somewhere, but it's what I like. I like the tone woods. I love mahogany and Carina. See that? So this maple cap, the maple top, will actually give this a brighter tone. This one's brighter than my V, because the V has a little darker tone because it's all mahogany. Well, it's got the maple and the Carina, but it doesn't have that maple cap. See, that maple cap gives it that kind of bite. That's what they do with Les Pauls, like a standard. They'll put like a maple cap. Nowadays, they're using veneers, like a thin piece. Nah, you don't want that. Most guitars that have like a flame on, that's a veneer. It's a thin little, you know, which is cool. I mean, hey, you know, whatever. But I wanted like a real old school. So yeah, this is, to me, and I'm probably going to restring this today. It was actually Scotty Beers. Happy birthday, Scotty Beers. Yesterday was Scotty's birthday. I gave him one of my old juniors when I moved here. And it's actually a Firefly. They're from, they don't make them anymore, but if you go to Guitars Garden, Guitars with an S, Guitars Garden, if you're wanting cheap guitars, those Fireflies are pretty insane. For the money, they're really good guitars. And they had a junior series with like a P90 one dog ear. So when I came, I gave him that as a present. And so it was his birthday, and I gave him a tuner. He gave me a tuner for Christmas. I gave him a tuner for his birthday. We went out and celebrated a little bit. When we came back, he bought some strings. And this is kind of a funny story. There's no guitar stores around here, so there's like one music store in town. And I get it. The guy, there's no interest, whatever. He had a few strings. So Scotty bought a pack for me and him. And I restrung his, and then the high E string fucking broke. But they've been sitting around. I could tell, I get it. These have been sitting there. Nobody's buying them. And that's the rub. If you're like in a small town, like, oh my God, are these, and that's what happened. So he's got a 5-string, and I oiled the neck. I cleaned up his guitar last night, oiled the neck. I use Dr. Ducks, by the way, if you ever want to. And I'm going to probably restring, but I've got these strings. So it's like, should I even try again I probably will. But yeah, this is it. This is my, again, the best guitar I've ever owned. I mean, for me, this and the Flying V. Just really great guitars. Again, you can try to find Zeke if he's still around. I don't know. I haven't communicated with him in about a year. You can find him out there. And comment below. What do? Do you play guitar? I think people should just have a guitar hanging in that like a piece of art. And if you are on like a budget, there's like Guitar Fetish, guitarfetish.com. They've got some great cheaper guitars. The Slick brand, it's Earl Slick. He's a guitarist. He was in John Lennon's solo band. David Bowie. And they're kind of relic guitars, but they have brass parts. Get one. They're awesome. They're juniors. They've got like, for the money, they little thin. The necks are a little wide and thin, but hey, I mean, Guitars Garden, the Firefly series, they're amazing guitars for the money. We're talking like $200. You have to pay some shipping or something. And then Rondo Music. Rondo's got like great strats, and check them out. I would say that, if you're starting to play, just go to Rondo Music and get one of those SX or Haitian Telecasters, and try to find the ones with the tinted necks. Those seem to be like more stable and badass, if you will. But yeah, and again, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to support the channel, which you do. The information's in the description for Cash App and Zelle. And I'll be back tomorrow. Again, tomorrow. But I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.